Do you have a, who's got a little fuzzy puffy? Can we borrow one, media? We used to have one. See if you got one in the bag there. Help us out. Thanks. What's up? Oh, for DOC? Joseph? Sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, we need to buy a little bag of these. I remember we used to have some.
GOV-TV.
Probably left it higher.
It's the weight.
Yeah, there, that sounds better. Anyway.
Okay, so I'll try. I think if we do kind of this.
There we go.
How we doing? Okay, I think it's gonna work. All right, I know. Just pet it for a second. Okay, awesome. Well, welcome everyone. This is, of course, the beginning of an amazing tradition for our city, and also for all of New Mexico, and frankly, a large part of the Southwest and the ballooning community all around the world, as we welcome the 53rd Balloon Fiesta right here back to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where it's always been, and we believe always will be. So we want to provide you with a typical city update on the Balloon Fiesta. There's a couple of basics that we'll touch on, and then some new things. That's usually what this is for. So I'm going to run through these at a high level. We're going to hear some details from a couple of speakers, and then we're going to give you all a tour. So firstly, we want to let you know right up front that, you know, the city, this is always a one Albuquerque effort, and it's with the Balloon Fiesta itself, which of course we remind folks is actually a separate nonprofit that rents the facilities and runs the Balloon Fiesta year round, but also coordinates everything on the field operations, and we'll hear from their executive director, Julie Morgus-Baca, shortly. But of course, city departments, whether it's Parks and Rec trying to take care of the field, whether it's APD for public safety, even working with Bernalillo County, there is truly a one Albuquerque effort across multiple organizations, both government and nonprofit. So we have a couple of things to announce this year, which are a little bit fun. And first and foremost, we're going to have flushing toilets for the first time in Balloon Fiesta history. And so this has long been a challenge for us with all the porta potties. And we want to let folks know that for the first time ever, we will actually have real bathrooms. Now, there is only 20 urinals and 12 toilets and 4 family restrooms and 36 women's stalls. So this is just the first of really having real bathrooms at Balloon Fiesta. But it is something, and I know everyone always says, oh, you know, why did it take 30 years? Well, look, the point is we got it done. And we're obviously going to do more, but we wanted to make sure and do that as part of our overall plumbing improvements to the Fiesta. That was much more important. So we have now plumbed that side of the Fiesta for future restrooms and also, of course, for the future stadium. And it's the same thing with electricity. So we tried to find some before and after pictures, but a site you never wanted to actually look at was behind vendor row. And everyone who was daisy chaining extension cords and plugging in multiple extension cords all over the place in this huge, sort of nest of electrical hazard, that has also been drastically improved. So we have also fixed the electrical lines along vendor row. Again, that's also in preparation for growth and hopefully a stadium. Third is now there is a high-speed fiber optic loop in the stadium. This is especially important for public safety. And so a lot of the challenges we've had in the past should be remedied, and we'll see how that impacts the public. But the point is, our safety setup, the number one challenge we had with public safety was the lack of that infrastructure, and we fixed that as well. And of course, that can be used for all things in the future, including a possible stadium. So those are some things behind the scenes that we will highlight. We also want to acknowledge Facility Build was our contractor on this. So great job with the bathrooms, and we'll give you a tour of them, and they are, again, ready for use. Now, we also have, in a fun way, the most photographed thing at the Balloon Fiesta, you'd think it's the balloons, but I'd say with rare exception, maybe Darth Vader and some others, it's actually the mounted police. And so we have 2 new units, as they're called. We all call them horses. And so we have 2 brand new horses. They're going to be out at Balloon Fiesta for the first time. And so folks are welcome to take pictures with them as well. Of course, they're there for the public, but most importantly, they're for public safety. And so they're going to be part of our public safety effort that's a little bit more enhanced with these 2 new horses this Balloon Fiesta. Now, because of the Wi-Fi loop, we can also have Wi-Fi repeaters all over the park, which should allow for better internet. This has always been a challenge. It's like there's so many people on, I can't use my cell phone on the field, and I also can't text everyone these awesome pictures, and I can't look at the Balloon Fiesta app, all because I can't get the internet on the Fiesta. We'll see. We think this should be drastically improved this year. But again, the priority is going to be public safety. So if it's not, it's because we're prioritizing that bandwidth for public safety. But this year, we hope that experience should be different for our customers. Now, I mentioned the power situation. What you will see is 46 power pedestals that are installed. These also will reduce the noise of generators. And it's hard to think about when we're not out here in front of Balloon Fiesta as it happens. But one of the things, especially all of the stations that are here will remember, is that they have to shout because of all the generator noise. That should actually be drastically reduced. And so it's one of those things, you don't really appreciate it once it's fixed. But let me tell you, that was one of the number one complaints we got, is how loud it is on vendor row because of all the generators. So now we should need a lot fewer generators because of the electricity pedestals that we've put in. Now, a couple of other fun things, arts and culture. If you've always wanted to go on a balloon ride and either can't make it happen, or you don't even want to go to Balloon Fiesta, but you still want to show your family and yourself what it would like to be in a balloon, we have a full virtual reality balloon ride experience at the Balloon Museum, which of course is open throughout Fiesta, even when there's no traffic in the afternoon. So I would highly recommend folks check that out. We're very excited about that. And let's see, I think the last thing I wanted to mention is a reminder, and we got this question a little bit before, we have more parking. So yes, parking is always a challenge. Yes, there's always going to be the same waits that we've had for decades. That's just what happens when you welcome 900,000 people to Albuquerque in a 9-day period. But we have 500 new balloon spots to park in. And so those are up kind of directly that way. We did have these last year, but now they're fully incorporated into, so we bought them last year, but now they're fully incorporated into the parking plan. So they're going to show up faster, people are going to get in and out faster. It's really the first year where we can fully utilize these 500 new spots. That is on top of the 200 that we bought 2 years before that. So in the last roughly 4 years, we are net positive 700 new spaces. And just in case, because I do get asked, even when the stadium's here, that's only supposed to take about half that new capacity. So net, no matter what, we are up hundreds of new spaces at Balloon Fiesta, and that's a good thing for all of us. Okay, so with that, we're gonna hand it over to different folks here to chime in on details. And so we're gonna start with our Chief of Police, Harold Medina. Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. The Albuquerque Police Department is committed to safety of the community during the Balloon Festival. We focus in 4 key areas over the course of this week. And the first area being, of course, security on the field and having officers in our horse-mounted unit present, like the mayor stated. The horses are one of the most photographed item at the Balloon Festival, and we ask to just communicate with the riders, make sure you kind of give them a heads up of what you're doing, and they're more than happy to help accommodate, especially families and kids with photos. But we will have our tactical section out, our SWAT team, our K9, and they'll be utilized to maintain security on the field, along with a lot of various federal partners who have a variety of roles to make sure that the park is secure and that everybody coming on is entering in a correct fashion, and that nothing is being brought in that could potentially be hazardous to visitors. The second big part at the field and at the Balloon Fiesta Park itself is traffic. We've greatly changed the way we do traffic over the last 7 years under this administration. Before, it took up about a third of the department to be out here during that week, uniformed-wise, to direct traffic. We now utilize police service aides, and we utilize cadets who are in training at the academy to take a bulk of those positions so we could keep our officers out in the community enforcing laws. Please be patient with our officers. Remember, they're on foot. Listen to the directions and be cautious to ensure that none of them are endangered or anybody else directing traffic. The next part we really work on is keeping individuals safe at night. Our auto theft and our investigative units will be out every night to Balloon Festival to ensure that we're patrolling hotels, parking lots. Historically, we've had only a few balloons ever taken. We have been able to recover them, and we will continue hopefully to ensure that we're out every night, and officers and detectives are able to keep track of some of these parking lots and bring a sense of visual police presence and undercover presence to ensure that we're doing everything we can to keep some of these locations safe. The third part is during the day. We know that people leave Balloon Fiesta Park and that they go out into various parts of Albuquerque. This year we're going to be utilizing some of our problem response teams or proactive response teams and members of the National Guard to hit some of our most frequent areas by some of the visitors to the city, such as Old Town, the mall area, and other parts of Albuquerque, where we tend to see increased numbers of individuals during the day going out to enjoy Albuquerque and hopefully spend some money in our city. So those are the four key parts: on-field security, directing traffic in and out of Balloon Fiesta Park, security at our hotels and motels in the evening while people are sleeping and their property is parked outside, and of course helping those that are frequenting the city have a safe, good experience in the city of Albuquerque. You know, I just want to finish with thanking all of the members of the Albuquerque Police Department. This is a very tasking week. There is no week more. Some of our motor officers have up to 60 hours of overtime this week. So I just want to thank all of our officers who are going to be out here. They get out here first, they leave last, and they do a great job every year in keeping the public safety. So to all my officers, thank you for everything you do this week to keep Albuquerque safe. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Chief. And a couple of other items just to touch on. Remember, you know, it's a good challenge, but a lot of the glows have been essentially just as popular as Fiesta, as the Mass Ascension. And so traffic situations, you just need to plan ahead for the glows just like you would Mass Ascension. And so we hope, based on the weather, that that's the same good challenge that we've had in past years with some of the glows. Okay, now for a little bit on emergency management. This is always, we remind folks, this event is literally bigger than the Kentucky Derby. It is bigger than the Super Bowl, and we do it for 9 days. That's actually why other cities that host events like that train here. So every year I always get to visit with some emergency management folks from other cities, because this is one of the biggest training grounds for all for all large scale events across America. Even with respect to the Olympics and the World Cup, almost every city trains here. Now, I preface that because our Office of City Emergency Management, once again, will do the best job they can to try and keep us all safe and informed. And we also always ask the community's help in that process. So with more on this, our Deputy Director of Emergency Management, Joseph Lopez.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Lopez, and I serve as the Deputy Director for the Office of Emergency Management. We are thrilled to welcome visitors from across the globe to the 2025 Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Safety is our highest priority. My team and I work closely with the city, county, state, and federal partners so that this way you all can enjoy your experience here. We ask that you stay informed, check for weather updates, allow extra time for traffic, and follow posted signs and directions from officials near the launch field. Most importantly, if you see something, say something. Reporting unusual or concerning activity immediately to event staff and/or law enforcement helps keep everybody safe. By working together, we can ensure this fiesta is memorable, truly uplifting, an event that not only uplifts up balloons, but also our entire community. Thank you and enjoy the 2025 Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta.
Thanks, Joseph. Thank you so much, Joseph. And of course, this facility, the Balloon Museum, has just grown and improved by leaps and bounds during Fiesta. This is one of the busiest places you will find at Fiesta, and it's also the home of all sorts of things in the afternoon and in the evenings and in the mornings, but of all sorts of special events. But most importantly, people are realizing that the exhibits are awesome. It's actually my kids' favorite. I mean, I can't believe during Balloon Fiesta, they ask me, when can we go to the Balloon Museum to play the Balloon Fiesta games? That's like the ultimate compliment for the museum from a 12-year-old. So anyway, with more on this, and I do want to foreshadow but not announce, we're going to be talking about an awesome new development right in that corner out here during Balloon Fiesta that will be something every kid at Balloon Fiesta will love. But with more on this, Shell Sanchez.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm the Director of Arts and Culture for the City of Albuquerque, and that includes this beautiful facility that we're at today. We're really excited. Arts and Culture, we really believe that our city's culture includes ballooning. We've all grown up seeing balloons in the sky, going to Fiesta with our families. It's part of who we are as a city. It's part of how people think of our city. So this is a really important time for our city's culture. And as far as the balloons, I know a lot of people think of them as, flight and science and everything. For me, as the Director of Arts and Culture, all I see is the sky painted. 7 mornings. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8. 9, okay. 9 mornings every October. So we're looking forward to seeing that again. And of course, the Balloon Museum is celebrating its 20th birthday this Fiesta. So we really encourage everyone to come out. This Fiesta is its 20th year open. This is a big deal. So please, if you haven't made time in your Balloon Fiesta schedule before, this is the time you need to come and visit the Balloon Museum. We have lots of new things going on. We're going to be celebrating and breaking ground on a really exciting new addition to the Balloon Museum on October 8th. We've also got the VR experience that Mayor talked about. We have STEAM night on Thursday night, so during one of the glows, we're reopening the Anderson Museum next week, and we host the Ballooning Hall of Fame, the International Ballooning Hall of Fame ceremony every Friday before Balloon Fiesta starts. So that's also really exciting. And this year, Richard Abruzzo, our own Richard Abruzzo here from Albuquerque, New Mexico, is one of the awardees, inductees into that International Hall of Fame. Also, Arts and Culture is here for everyone during the day. So we love that Balloon Fiesta is super busy, but when you're done with Balloon Fiesta, there's lots of other places for you to visit. And we like to get our party started early. So starting on Thursday, also known as tomorrow, right? Starting on Thursday, there is music in Old Town every single day. The ABQ Biopark has newer experiences like Asia at the Zoo, Heritage Farm, and opening tomorrow, Lebanon and Beyond at the Botanic Garden. We have Harvest Festival this weekend when you leave the Balloon Fiesta. And the Albuquerque Museum is in the middle of its current exhibition on German modernism, which holds a few surprises like Picasso and a Dali, among other great artists in the collection. So there's so much more to do here in Albuquerque, so visit abqtodo.com to figure out how you're going to spend those 4 precious hours, not sleeping, and not at Balloon Fiesta. So thank you very much.
It's all the fun stuff. Got to clap for Shell. And isn't our opening Lebanon in like 2 hours?
No, that's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so the by far though the action on the field and the whole event, of course, is put on by Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, and we're very fortunate because the woman in charge of that is no stranger to our city, but also our former county manager and just longtime public servant, Julie Morgensbach.
Thank you, Mayor Keller. It's a beautiful afternoon. I'm really, really happy to be here with you all. But there is a lot of work, there is a lot of preparation, but I will tell you this, we could not do it without the City of Albuquerque. The mayor has really stepped up and helped us, Department of Municipal Development, Parks and Recreation, APD. Our public is going to be very safe. They secured, I think, 25 meridian barriers, which we didn't have last year. So thank you so much for helping us with that. That's huge. Thank you, Mayor Keller, for making that happen. Parks and Recreation, huge. We see them all the time. We see them out just having so much pride in the field. And it shows. It's absolutely beautiful. So thank you all for all your hard work. You guys are amazing partners. Emergency management, I can't forget that. You all keep us safe, and we really appreciate everything that you do. So we hope that you all enjoy. We've just got everything in order, I think. But you never know until Saturday comes and rolls around. Just pray for good weather. And whatever you do, say a novena, talk to the universe, whatever you have to do, just please do it. Let's hope that we have really good weather. So thank you all very much. And thank you, Mayor Keller, for having me.
You got it. Like, don't wash your car, right? Because then it'll rain. Okay, thank you so much, Julie. We are so excited about this year's Fiesta. So we have a tour planned for you next. But of course, we can take a few questions if folks want, but otherwise we'll do it on the tour. And yes, Dave Simon will be available to flush toilets, demonstrate, etc.
I have a few questions for Chief Medina. Can you talk about what's allowed inside Balloon Fiesta and if there will be any metal detectors? Can people bring their firearms to Balloon Fiesta?
No, I'm going to turn that over to Julie. And there is a list. Firearms are no. We could tell you, and everybody does go through a screening before they go into the park. So I don't have the exact list with me, but
The list is available on balloonfiesta.com.
on balloonfiesta.com they could answer everything in, because they have rules on size of everything else.
And in terms of APD, is there anything that you're going to be watching out like the most closely? Is there anything that's concerning you about bringing hundreds of thousands of people in one place?
There's a variety of things. When you have large crowds that we're concerned with, obviously we're concerned with somebody bringing, some kind of device in that could hurt a lot of people at one time. Everything from an explosive all the way through a firearm. Our officers are concerned about motor vehicles, where motor vehicles come and go, and the path that they travel, not only for accidents, but for anybody who could maybe possibly want to intentionally hurt others with it. We're worried about the criminal element out at night, ruining the Balloon Festival for individuals. That's why we have officers out, detectives working all night to try to patrol and ensure that property is secure in the various hotels across the city. So our issues are not only concerns at the Balloon Fiesta Park, but they're all the way through the community during the entire length of this Balloon Fiestas.
What can you tell people, out-of-town visitors, to watch out for? I mean, we've had a slight little history of people taking balloons and things like that. And just, watch out for this. You're in a different kind of town, a different...
The biggest thing is the number one problem we see is people leave stuff in their cars visible for others to take. Don't leave stuff in your car where somebody's going to see that you just went shopping in Old Town and there's 3 bags in your back seat with all the stuff you just purchased. It literally takes a criminal 2 seconds to break a window and grab 2 bags and walk off. They're very difficult cases to solve because a lot of times evidence isn't left behind where we could get prints, because it's literally a smashed window and somebody grabbing bags that they're not touching anything. So don't leave stuff. Be aware of your surroundings. Make sure you park in a well-lit area. Make sure that if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. And I think what they said earlier, if you see something, say something. That's above all the thing that we ask the most.
Will law enforcement be monitoring the airspace, for drones and whatnot?
Yeah, they have a whole contingency that they'll be monitoring the airspace, and they'll be doing a lot of different things.
Yeah, Chief, it's a drone no-fly zone. We are
Yeah.
going to enforce that again. We actually have their emergency management drones that monitor that there's no other drones. So it's a heavily tracked thing at Fiesta.
Yeah, I'll get you guys right afterwards. I'll get with you guys right after. We'll do something.
I just have one more question. Is there any part of the government shutdown that will impact Fiesta?
Not that I'm aware of.
That's a great question.
That's a great question, but a lot of our resources.
Talk a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm glad you answered that. So just so you know, the FAA, they will be available on a limited basis and an as-needed basis. So we will have that. We have, as far as weather, we have independent contractors that provide our weather information. And then as far as Kirtland, we won't have the flyovers, but we will have the chili flights. They'll still be here because they are they're basically independent. So we'll still have that, and we're working with them. And I can tell you, the feds are trying to do as much as they can to work with us. So I think it's not going to affect security or operations. I can assure you, and especially with this man standing behind me, Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department, State Police. I mean, we're in great shape.
All right, thank you, everybody. If you want, you can take your cameras and break down, and there are a couple of UTVs just outside of that gate, and they will go out and tour you guys through the park. Thank you.